Hi, I'm Finn, and today I wanted to talk about Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, Tally Hall's first album, second if you count the Pinger EP, but we're not doing that because that's an EP and it was never officially released on most platforms, but I really do want to talk about All of My Friends because that's an amazing song. Sorry, this is going to be a pretty difficult video not to ramble a lot in because I am a huge Tally Hall fan. Even before I was into Will Wood, I was into Tally Hall. This is most likely because back in 2019, or 2018, Jesus, I feel old. The song The Bidding started trending on TikTok, and that kind of was my gateway drug into the rest of Tally Hall. So before I jumped into this, I just want to say, if you have not yet checked out the Williams Project podcast, that is a podcast that I'm the editor for. It is ran by a few of my friends, and they are some really talented people. So please go check that out. It's a horror thriller podcast based on a bunch of dudes getting trapped in a mansion. That's a horrible summary of it. It's much more enjoyable to listen to than to hear me talk about. So this video was originally going to be not only on Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, but also on Good and Evil, their second album. However, the video started to run really long and I still needed to get it out because I have another upload I want to do, and as I said in the last video, I'm moving very soon. So the best place to start is the beginning. What is Tally Hall? Tally Hall is an interesting band who play in the Fablu genre. Fablu is a genre that the band made up because they didn't want to be put under other genres and they don't want to be defined as a genre. That was kind of the whole point of Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, the naming of the album, which we will get into in a little bit. The band has 5 members, each represented by a tie color. Kind of the head of the band is Joe Hawley. He's got the signature red tie. His music style is going to be all over the place, but he mostly has the kind of deeper songs to look into and the ones that get more popular. For example, The Bidding, Banana Man, and Ruler of Everything. He also went off to make this little thing called Miracle Musical. Yeah, Dream Suite in C Major, Murders, The Mind Electric, those are all Joe Hawley. He also has his own release, Joe Hawley. That's the name of an album, so it's Joe Hawley by Joe Hawley. It's actually a really good album that I have a lot of fun with. Next up is Yellow Tie, Rob Cantor. Rob Cantor does a lot of stuff. First, he worked with Tally Hall and was defined as making heterophonic tunes of how love bites. A lot of his songs are going to be love songs or out of love songs, just things to do with romance, mostly tragic romance. He also made a little thing called Actual Superstar Cannibal, Shia LaBeouf. If you've heard that music video or like seen it, that was him. That guy is this guy. This man ages like a very fine wine. He also has a solo album, Not a Trampoline, and in that is I'm Gonna Win, which is a revised version of All of My Friends from the Pingree EP. Next up is Ross. Ross is, well, just a drummer.
Ross is just a drummer.
Oh, and a doctor? Yeah, he got a PhD. Like, that's actually quite a common theme here. A lot of Tally Hall band members are doctors and like have full PhDs. It's weird. The only song that Ross is credited for writing in is Mucka Blecka, and he has only one singing part in Good and Evil. That is the only time he ever sings. Like I said, he's just a drummer. Next up is Zubin Seji. I'm not going to pronounce that right, so I'm just going to say Zubin. Zubin is also a doctor because this band was made by the American Health Society for some goddamn reason. But yes, Blue Tie here. Oh wait, did I mention Ross's Gray Tie? Blue Tie here wrote songs like The Trap, Cannibal, and mostly sticks to just playing and singing with very rarely getting into the songwriting aspect of things. He's got a nice programming hobby and made the Tally Hall website. Next up is Green Tie, Andrew Horowitz. This is the best member of Tally Hall. If you disagree with me, you can feel free to leave. Andrew Horowitz, best Tally Hall. Like I said, Green Tie, he wrote Misery Fell, Fate of the Stars, and Twu Love, which is the best, worst song I've ever heard in my life. He also has like a really comforting voice. You and The Whole World and You, that's all him. And they were just so nice. He has such a nice voice. I could listen to it for hours. In fact, I have, because all of my times for streaming these songs are abhorrently high. I have a problem. There's a secret Orange Tie, a 6th member of the band. His name is Bora. He's mostly a producer, but he does a lot of other stuff on the side. He's kind of like the band director, and he is featured prominently in the Tally Hall internet show, which I highly recommend you check out. It's hilarious.
Everyone knows that buses are a safe, efficient, inexpensive form of public transportation. What you don't know is that 83% of all buses are registered sex offenders.
Need an answer. This is 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. This is 3, 5, 3. Oh, that's time. The correct answer was number 3. Tell him what he would have won, Johnny.
It's a brand new car.
I like to say hello and welcome you, good day, that is my name.
The first song of the album is Good Day, and this song is supposed to be looked at a bit more literally than you might expect. The song is literally introducing it's what, it's how, it's where, it's when. It is genuinely saying this is us. Like, the song is a first-person song of the song singing the song. The most obvious moment of this is the line saying, "Looking through glass eyes, give it a few tries." It's kind of saying, listen to the album a few times. Your perception will warp over time, and you shouldn't judge the album based on what you hear first. Because this album is all over the place, and there can be a lot of hidden meanings in places you did not expect. And I feel this is actually very notable for Tally Hall, being that now, like 16 years since their first album, they're at the height of their popularity, which I find funny. And the song actually ends with a bunch of references to the album that's coming up. Birds and Bees and Television is To Of, mainly because the television mention as well as the creepy stalker thing going on. Then Cardboard Houses and X-Ray Vision. It seems likely to be talking about the bidding, but we're not really sure what the X-Ray Vision would be. Then Many Silly Little Rhymes. That's definitely haiku, because haiku is literally a song about silly little rhymes in haiku format. Things Forgotten in Their Time. Probably Ruler of Everything, because the exploration of time is what that song is all about. And Periods and lots of question marks, most often referred to as Welcome to Tally Hall. I give this song an 8 out of 10. It's not really my style per se, but it's still a really good introduction to the album.
It's breaking me slowly. Don't leave it alone. Don't leave it alone. You sound so much further on the phone.
And next up is one of our heterophonic tunes by Rob Cantor, Greener. This name can mean one of two things. Either the grass is greener on the other side, or he's growing green with envy, that kind of expression. The song follows the narrator reminiscing about what he and his partner used to have. "'Cause my plans, you were all for me. But now it seems that you'd rather leave. Wherever you go is breaking me slowly. Don't leave it alone, don't leave it alone. You sound so much further on the phone." It's very obvious what's happening. It's not one of the songs that really needs an in-depth lyrical analysis. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna give it a 7.9. This is another one that's just not my style. It doesn't do it for me. I know we're starting off the album with 2 low ones, but the next one's a 10 out of 10, so get ready for that one.
Singing songs you like to hear, and the world will disappear. Then we'll be glowing in the dark, lighting up the bark, revealing that the hall is the place that aims to please with unpredictable games and antiquities. The collectibles so delectable, the unreliable styles undetectable. Like I might rap like an English chap, take you by the neck of an album you'll slap. You didn't think we had the goal? Well, bloody welcome to Tally Hall. We're stereosonic, we're animatronic.
Next song is Welcome to Tally Hall, and it is an absolute banger. It should probably be the first song of the album, but whatever. It serves as a fabulous introduction to the Fab Blue genre as well as the group as a whole, because it has specific mentions of each of the group literally introducing themselves. Zubin is actually introducing them, but getting introduced. But this is actually a perfect chance for me to talk about what Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum is. Because Welcome to Tally Hall is introducing themselves as automated players or kind of attractions to be looked at, because that's how they viewed themselves when creating the album. Every song is its own attraction in this magical shop based on the real Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum in Ann Arbor. It was previously located in Tally Hall, what used to be a strip mall / food court before it shut down. Marvin Yagoda is the owner, or was the owner. Rest in peace, he died about 4 years ago. He was the owner of Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, and it is an amazing, magical place. You can feel the love he has for these strange creations he's collected and these weird machines in the Tally Hall Internet Show episode featuring him. His voice is what's at the beginning of this saying, known from coast to coast like butter and toast, from headlines to bedlines, from pool rooms to schoolrooms, no other place in the contiguous United States or other environs of the world. Welcome. This is why Tally Hall is what it is. Marvin's influence over them has been monumentous, and just the fact that they loved this quirky place full of quirky things defined what the band would become. Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum is a bunch of these strange contraptions that don't fit in anywhere else except for with each other. Just like the songs in this album and the songs of Tally Hall. They only fit in these strange places. That's why it's called Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, because these songs jump around from genre to genre, from thing to thing, from deep to Banana Man, to refocus back on the actual song. It's a fun, spunky jam that serves as an amazing introduction to the album, as I've said. Like Yellow Tie, the suave fellow writes heterophonic tunes of how love bites. Of course, that mentions most of his songs being love songs about how love kind of sucks. And then the next one is Red, the Proud Loud Guy We Adore, and then followed by Joe asking, is my amp too high? No, turn it up more. Just a fun little reference to the fact that Joe he's very eccentric when he's in his zone. Gray in the back, sipping yakking here. That's kind of just reference to how he's a drummer. He's sitting in the back, and that's referenced in their internet show. That's kind of a running gag. Send home the locksmith. Green's got keys to unlock the rocket in the act, if you please. Because Green, Andrew Horowitz, is the keyboardist. So open keys, it's... And open the case, give Blue the bass, then jibby all over the place. That's, of course, introducing Zubin himself, because he is the bassist of the band. Like I said, easily a 10 out of 10 song. Next up is Taken for a Ride. Taken for a Ride is a song by Andrew Horowitz, and I don't know what it means. So, I did my research because that's my job here, and I found the most common interpretations. The best interpretation I could find, and the most consistent one that most people agree with, is that the song is about depression. The character introduced in this song is called Marvin, but it's not actually Marvin Yagoda. It's just that Marvin is kind of a go-to name they end up using. You can also see this in the Mind Electric demo. He was originally named Marvin. It seems to just be their go-to. But it seems to follow the story of temporary happiness and using that kind of for a substitute instead of actually getting true happiness or finding yourself. It's a story about depression. Of course, there's Marvin walked into a helpless land and wondered lightly, am I happy? Is this happy? The helpless land is, of course, our land, Earth, and he's asking himself, is what I have true happiness? Am I actually happy here, or am I just going through the motions of happiness? Another line to bring up is tiptoed to that wooden sign that said, now take your place in line for happy. It's kind of like attractions and shows and movies. There are these temporary displays that make you happy. Is this happy? They are happy, but do they provide happiness? Or is that only a temporary fill-in for what there should be? Then there's the line, the chemistry is gone, taken for a ride. Far away from you, no longer left inside. At first glance, this would make you go, oh, so the end of a relationship. However, I believe it's supposed to be more literal. The chemical dopamine or serotonin, which provides happiness, is literally gone. That chemistry is gone, and it's far away from him now, far away from his mind. It's not something that he has anymore. There are other interpretations that say this song is about being cheated on, because Taken for a Ride is literally a metaphor for being cheated on, or it's kind of a way of saying you were cheated on. But I implore you to do your own interpretations of the song, because all Heroic songs are really deep and have this internal meaning that you have to look for. Most Andrew Heroic songs have really deep meanings that you have to look for.
Graduated at the top, I like to take advantage of the bourgeoisie. So if you have a fantasy of being a queen, maybe you should blow a couple bucks on me. Going once, going twice, from these gentlemen suffice. Any here, any there, any motions anywhere. Going twice, going thrice, yes, this means we'll go 4 times a day.
Next up is The Bidding, or as I call it, the Tally Hall Gateway Drug. Written by Holly, it's probably contested with Ruler of Everything for the most popular Tally Hall song. Ross actually does get some speaking lines in this as the fast-talking auctioneer. You can see that in this video.
25, 25, 30, 35, 30, 35, 35, 40, 40, 45, 45, 45, 45, 50, 50, do I have 50?
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
It's about a dude auctioning off other dudes. It's kind of like a dating show. The first character is broke as fuck, but he ensures unconditional love. The second promises to be obedient, comparing themselves to the dogs from Pavlov's infamous experiments. The third one is a player, saying he's been here like 1,000 times, dated every woman in the atmosphere. And if he's not... wait. Is that atmosphere? Okay, but he's saying, I'm laid back, and if you fall in love with me and you break your heart, that's on you, man. That's not on me. I'm not accountable for that. You knew what you were getting into with this. The fourth guy is a communist who will manipulate the upper class. No, literally it probably means something more like he's going to take advantage of the bourgeoisie in the way that he's going to help her ascend up the social ladder, and he can manipulate people to help her get into an advantageous position if she dates him. And then we get this ending.
Yo, yo, yo! Ah!
Yeah, if I had 20 seconds left to live, sorry mom, you're not getting a text. I'm going to Google and I'm typing in The Bidding so I can watch that again. It's a 10 out of 10. You already knew. There's no contest.
Party, you can cry if you want to. What if I told you I can show you something? What if I told you I could make you live? Follow my instructions, swim in the direction.
No. No. No, I don't want to do this one. Okay, so Be Born is a song by Cantor. It exists. It was released in the album. It was made and composed, then produced, then put out into the world, like released. Like people were proud of this. It's a bit weird for my taste. Basically, it's literally about being born. It originally makes you think that it's about like picking up chicks or something, like pink-skinned babes, or even that sounds bad now that I know what it's about. Swim in the direction of my voice. What if I told you I could make you live? Yeah, okay, Cantor, thanks, appreciated. I think I even prefer Willwood's Coming Radiation to this. 6 out of 10, not for me.
Troubles and go with the flow. Forget about whatever you may never know. Like whether whatever you're doing is whatever you should, and whether anything you're doing is ever anything good. And forget about banana when it's sticking your throat. Tell anything you wanna mellow, but you're stuck in a choke. And forget about the yellow pussy beckoning man who make you take another one and make a mark of your plan.
It's Banana Man. What do you want me to say? It's Banana Man. But if you want an analysis on Banana Man, I've actually already done a full video on that, which you can see here. Or there, I don't know which side the end screen shows up on. But as far as the review goes, it's of course a 10 out of 10.
Cause it's one thing or another. I don't even know why I bother. Something I just can't get around.
Just apathy. You should instantly be able to peg this one as a Cantor piece. First off, he's singing it, so you'll get that familiar voice, and it's about how love bites. It seems to be about the narrator's relationship issues, but not because of the other person like it typically is. This time it follows the narrator who's an asshole. The narrator is rude and they tear down the people they're in a relationship with and analyze their flaws and pick them out. The song's pretty well summarized with the bits, I don't know why I bother, because he's feeling apathetic towards the relationship because no one matches the crazy standards that he's setting. And one thing just tears her down, because it's one thing or another, I don't even know why I bother. That one thing tearing her down is actually the narrator. Something I just can't get around. He can't stop this behavior, it's something ingrained in him. And I'm gonna give that an 8 out of 10. It's not really my taste, like I said, Cantor doesn't really get it for me, but it's still a very good song.
I wish you could have heard the music. Clouds fell overhead. Finally felt enthusiastic. Finally felt high. Blah, 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 blah.
Spring in a Storm. This one is a Joe Hawley number. It's experimental, and the first one of its kind in the album. It combines so many different elements and makes such a strange story that it's one of Tally Hall's best, easily. It lends itself to be the masterpiece of the album, but then there's more that tops this later. It's crazy. The Hidden in the Sand wiki actually credits Cause for saying, it talks about the appreciation of and for nature and the cycle of it, but how insignificant it can make you feel until you realize that you're just as much a part of it as anything else. The song starts with Joe Hawley singing, one time I tried to sing about spring and storm, but you know how it goes. Blah, 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 blah. He has frustrations about writing about nature and these cycles because it makes him feel his own insignificance, saying blah, 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 whatever, I don't really matter, do I? Then we get mentions of the cycle and how it continues. All the rain comes down the same, falling too from where it came, on the ground and back around up into the sky. A literal cycle. And then tells the story of the storm. The music of it, the sounds of nature, the crashing of the thunder, the storms, the singing, the song of nature. And he feels invigorated by the storm because he's a part of it, he's a part of this change. And then we see children talking to Mr. Moon. It's unsure whether this is literally the moon or just a guy named Mr. Moon. The kids say, hey, what happens when we die? And the moon says, well, I think it sucks. I think there's nothing after you die, or you just return to whatever you were before, which is nothing. But it's part of the cycle. I won't let you lose yourself in that rain. I won't let you lose yourself in that sadness. You still need to enjoy life, even if what happens after is unknown. And then we end even stronger. Create until nothing's left to create. And then do it again and again and again in the next cycle, over and over, because it's beautiful and you are a part of that cycle. It's a 10 out of 10 number and one of Tally Hall's best.
Mary Kate and Ashley, I hope you understand that I love you a lot and I wanna be your man, and I think that it'd be totally cool if I hung around your apartments and enrolled in a school.
Two Love realistically has no right to be this good. Like, on the one hand, I know it's weird and creepy and it's a satirical take on a stalker watching these two girls and referring to their childhood works. But on the other hand, it goes really hard. Two Love is a heroics number, and it's hilarious. Of course it is satirical and there's no actual stalker elements, but that's what the story follows. A stalker in love with the Olsen twins. Mary Kate and Ashley, I hope you understand that I love you a lot and I want to be your man. There's not much really to analyze here that it doesn't just tell you, but it's like a guilty pleasure of mine, honestly. And the funniest part about the song to me is the music video is 10 minutes long, and only at the 8-minute mark do they start playing the song. And then right after that, it gets completely cut off and interrupted. Please watch that video. It is mind-boggling what happens in it.
I've been trying to get this height, just writing all night for you, alright.
Haiku. Haiku is my favorite Rob Cantor song, at least in this album. It's about someone just trying to write someone else a haiku, like their partner. It's reflected in the song structure, with the failures of the haiku, because almost all of the lines end at 5-7-6 until later in the song when he properly writes one. The song's also focused on the scene it's in, with hecklers and people coming up to stage to sing for themselves. You can even hear someone yell, "Play the banana song," kind of at the 140 mark. There's also the belief that this song might be representative of an overall relationship. He's trying hard to learn this new thing and try to haiku for her, and she's not trying. She's just judging him based on the things he's doing without putting any effort forward herself. The Whole World in You is a heroics number. A very common interpretation of the song is that someone is head over heels for someone else and they don't want to date anyone else. They just have eyes for that one person because no one's better than you. However, I subscribe to the notion presented in the music video. This interpretation is that it follows the story of a politician running for office. And this politician is different from others because he believes that the people are the best rulers and that nobody's better than them. He's going under this campaign that the people should rule and he's just a conduit for them. And this is a dangerous notion, but people think it's kind of just an act, so he says, don't laugh and clap right now, this is serious, I'm not delirious, this is a real dream that we can have come true. And then at the end, he gets assassinated for presenting these beliefs to the public, as in the music video. 13. 13 is a 13-second long song and the 13th of the album. It is just a lead up into Ruler of Everything, so there's not really much to say about it.
In the gallows or the ghetto, or the town or the meadow, in the billows, even over the sun, every end of the time is another begun. You understand, mechanical hands are the ruler of everything. Ruler of everything. I'm the ruler of everything in the end.
Ruler of Everything. There is much to say about Ruler of Everything. It's probably the most analyzed Tally Hall song because there is a lot to explore with it. It's a Joe Hawley song and it's about the concept of time and the passage of it and how it is ultimately the strongest thing in our universe and stronger than any person could be. Of course, his lines, mechanical hands are the ruler of everything. Mechanical hands of a clock, literally saying time is the ruler of everything. It doesn't get much more obvious than that interpretation. Most people interpret the beginning as the sun being representative of time and Juno being representative of the entire human race as a whole. Juno shot at the sun with a gun. He futilely tried to stop time and he got angry at time and said, oh, you suck. But the sun / time is the only thing really keeping him alive and the only reason he's there to begin with. Because humans often kind of say, time sucks, I don't have enough time for anything. Time is the end of everything. Time is horrible, but it's the only thing that allows us to exist and things to change, so time is actually pretty cool. The next line is setting up the vastness, the kind of image of vastness in your head of what time is. In the gallows, the ghettos, in the town, over the meadows, in the billows, even over the sun, every end of a time is another begun. It's saying time affects everything everywhere. It is endlessly vast. But every end of a time is another begun. It, like Spring in a Storm, presents the idea of time as a constant cycle. Verse 2 is then a conversation between man and time. The conversation essentially follows the conversation of a man who believes he's very powerful and very strong, and he's comparing himself to time, or time is kind of pushing him down and saying that time is still the rule of everything, no matter how powerful a man he is. Then the song really picks up with the lines, do you hear the flibbity jibbity jabber with an oh my god I get out of here, or I have another word to tell, another story to tell, another time swinging a bell, do you hear the clock stop and reach the end, no you know but I very comprehend if you can, but when you try to pretend to understand you resemble a fool, or the only man so give it up and smile. This bit says, time's gonna happen no matter what. If you try to comprehend this or change it, you're gonna look like an idiot. You gotta give it up and you need to go with it. You need to accept the passage of time. And there's the common belief that the reason it is sped up so much is because it's supposed to be like how time is shown to humans versus the beginning, which was time compared to time. It is endless and vast, and so it's taken it slow. But for humans, it's so quick and fleeting that it gotta, you know, flibbity jibbity jabber. 10 out of 10 song, by the way. It's one of my favorite Tally Halls.
We were playing in the sand, and you found a little band. You told me you fell in love with it, hadn't gone as I planned.
Hidden in the Sand. Hidden in the Sand is a short and sweet 1 minute and 20-second song. It is the last one of the album, and the music video is very interesting. The music video presents the idea that what people will say and how they act is not always their true nature, and you will only see people's true nature once they show it to you themselves. It's by Joe Hawley, and it's actually pretty romantic if you just listen to the lyrics, so you might believe it's a Rob Cantor one. But essentially it follows the kind of trend of, I fell in love with you and I want to be with you, but you left my life. There's a lot of songs about people leaving. Tally Hall kind of specializes there, huh? It's a sweet and somber piece. It's gonna be a 10 out of 10 just because it is something to listen to for sweetness. It is just an enjoyable listen. And yeah, that's Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, that's it.